W- Welcome to the Women Serve 2 podcast, a journey into the extraordinary stories of resilient women in and out of uniform. I'm Brittany Wick, your host, and today I wanted to start this podcast by sharing the driving force behind it and what I aim to achieve in the episodes to come. So, my passion for this project initially started when I was always so annoyed that people would, just not give credit to women who serve in the military. So, I met my husband in the military. We actually met at first term airman course or class. I don't even know what the C stands for, but FTAC. And we've been together ever since. So, we've been together for about 13 years, married for 11. We've been married for so long at this point. I'm like, hold on, what year is it? But essentially, we've been together for a while, and we were dual military. And when we would travel together, he would always get thanked for his service, and I never would. And I'm not always trying to seek the recognition, but when I'm handing my own military ID and you're thanking a male, but you're not thinking the female, it would just piss me off because I'm like, women serve too. Women serve too. There was another situation where I did hand in my own military ID to a woman. She looks at it and she's like, oh, so your husband's in the military. Okay, keep in mind on the actual ID, it says with my picture, active duty. What? Yes, my husband does serve, but I also am in too, is how I responded. So it initially started by me just getting so frustrated with people not giving the recognition to women who have served, who are serving. So that's where it initially started. But the more I wanted to start this project, I, I really wanted to share the stories, share the problems that we have faced in and out of uniform. And it's just really deeply rooted into the profound appreciation for the sacrifices and contributions of women in the military. So often their stories are overshadowed and their voices go unheard. So at Women Serve 2, this podcast, my mission is clear: to amplify these voices, share tales of strength, resilience, and highlight the remarkable women who have faced adversity and emerged triumphantly. So, why is it so important to talk about these stories and address these issues? So the statistics paint a very vivid picture. Okay, so as of 2021, women comprised approximately 16% of active duty military in the United States. Yet a lot of our experiences differ significantly from our male counterparts. And reports indicate that female veterans face challenges in transitioning into the civilian life, ranging from employment struggles to mental health issues. And I'm not saying that men don't either. I'm just saying that women have a different barrier and different experiences. So these conversations are not just about storytelling, they're about recognizing the invaluable contributions of women in and out of uniform and acknowledging the struggles they navigate. So, for instance, the pervasive issue of sexual harassment and assault within the military. It affects women um, quite frequently, believe it or not, despite the efforts to try to get rid of it, if you will, or minimize it. But by discussing these issues openly, we contribute to a more inclusive and supportive environment and foster a culture of accountability and change. And then expanding on this, it's essential to recognize that the mental health implications of military service are often profound for women. Studies have indicated that female veterans two or even higher than their male counterparts, which is underscoring the need for comprehensive mental health support. So, through this podcast, I want to continue to destigmatize mental health discussions and provide a platform for these women to share their coping mechanisms and resilience. And obviously, that's not all. Another critical issue that often goes unaddressed is the unique struggle of balancing military service and family life. So, military women often face that unique challenges in demanding or in balancing the demands of their work and personal lives. So, the rigorous and demanding nature of the military service, coupled with deployment, coupling with frequent relocations and extended work hours, can pose significant obstacles. And juggling these responsibilities as both service members and potentially as mothers or caregivers requires exceptional resilience. The need to maintain readiness and the commitment to duty can often sometimes conflict with that desire for stability and continuity in family life. And according to the military's traditional structure and expectations, it may not always align with evolving societal norms regarding gender roles and work life balance. And these challenges highlight the importance of these ongoing conversations and initiatives to address the specific needs of military women, ensuring that they have that support and flexibility required to navigate that intricate balance between that military service and their personal lives. And expanding our scope, we're also going to be talking about the incredible journeys of women veterans who transition from the front lines to the business lines. All right. I know it sounds corny, but transitioning into that entrepreneurial world, these women only service their country with honor. But they have utilized their skills to make a significant impact in the business world. And through their stories, we're breaking down those stereotypes and showcase that diverse talents that women veterans bring to various industries. And in addition to entrepreneurship, we're going to be talking about the challenges women veterans face in entering the workforce and the corporate environment. And despite their skills and qualifications, women veterans often encounter barriers to employment. And we'll discuss initiatives and success stories that highlight the resilience of these women as they navigate that transition from military service to the civilian workforce. Believe it or not, it's a lot more common. I mean, the military just kind of gives you TAPS, that transition assistance program. I don't even know what the full name is, but TAPS, where you transition from the military to the civilian world. All they really do is like, here's how you build a resume. And then once you get out, you're like, okay, what do I do? And sometimes some of these women were coming in at 18, 19, and this is all we've known. And so sometimes you get that feeling of feeling lost and not knowing what to do. And sometimes it is hard to, translate, going from that military service to being a civilian. And it's important to have these conversations surrounding the challenges faced by women in the military, because it's not just to identify these challenges, but to, underscore their significance in fostering a more inclusive and effective military culture. Our armed forces, like any organization, are multifaceted and dynamic. So to truly appreciate the challenges and the hurdles that military women encounter, we must first understand the broader context. These issues at hand are not just individual struggles, but systematic struggles that, when addressed, contribute to a more equitable military environment. And at the heart of these conversations, we still want to aim for that quest of gender equality. And I will say, like, yes, as far as pay goes, yes, we do get paid the same as our male counterparts. But again, by openly acknowledging and discussing the challenges faced by military women, we lay the foundation for a more inclusive and respectful military culture, because it is still a men dominated workforce. And there is a lot of struggles as a female being in a male dominant workforce. And this isn't merely just, checking a box for gender equality, but like recognizing the inherent value each individual brings to the table, regardless of gender. And additionally, diversity is not just a buzzword, okay? It's a very strategic advantage. And within our armed forces, embracing gender equality, it translates into enhanced operational effectiveness. The varied perspectives and experiences of military women contribute to more decision making and innovative problem solving. All right, ultimately making our military stronger and more adaptable. And since the military is having a hard time trying to meet the recruitment and retention numbers, these conversations are impactful. So we can make the necessary changes. Okay, by addressing challenges faced by military women, we identify gaps and opportunities for reform. And this isn't about token gestures, but a genuine commitment to creating policies that are inclusive, supportive, and reflective of the diverse needs within the armed forces. Because when women feel supported and valued within the military, it becomes a magnet for diverse and talented individuals. An inclusive environment isn't just a morale booster, it's a recruitment strategy that plays dividends in building a robust and skilled force. All right. Furthermore, culture evolves through conversation. And by openly discussing the challenges, we contribute to a broader cultural shift within the armed forces. All right. The shift is not just about compliance, but a genuine, and this is why I want to do this podcast, because it can create a genuine transformation in attitudes, behaviors, and the way we view gender roles within the military. And moreover, the stresses of military life affect everyone, regardless of gender. And by openly having these conversations, we're trying to destigmatize the conversations around mental health. And I will tell you right now, I've already had several conversations with women who didn't want to seek mental health because of the stigma, people being told to man up, quote, air quotes, when it came to mental health, saying that, well, maybe you should get out of the military if you can't handle it. There's a lot of stigma around seeking mental health. But by having these conversations, it doesn't only promote individual well-being, but it also creates and fosters a culture where seeking help is seen as a strength rather than a weakness. Okay. Conversations are not just about addressing challenges, they're about building communities. And by openly discussing the issues that we face and all of the things that we have encountered, we create a space for individuals to share their experiences, offer support, and then build networks. This community building aspect strengthens the collective resilience of our armed forces. And I am a firm believer in the power of amplifying voices that often go unheard. So, Women Serve 2, this podcast is a platform where we're going to celebrate resilience, dive into the challenges women in uniform face, in and out of uniform, and explore the triumphs that emerge from these challenges. And by giving these incredible women the platform they deserve, the goal is to inspire, is to motivate, and to contribute to positive change. And you may not agree with what everyone says in these episodes. Okay, we all have our own opinions, and that's okay. And that's what makes this so great. But I just want you to have an open mind so you could hear other people's perspective. You don't have to agree, but just hear them out. Okay, so whether you're a military enthusiast, a supporter of women's empowerment, or someone who appreciates a good story, Women Serve 2 is for you. So join us weekly as we bring you stories of courageous women who have not only served our country, but continue to shape the world in extraordinary ways. So to further engage our listeners, I'm going to be incorporating listener submitted questions and stories. So this interactive aspect of the podcast aims to create a community that actively participates in the dialogue surrounding women in uniform. Your questions and experiences will contribute to the richness of the discussions and help me tailor content that resonates to our diverse audience. And I'm thrilled to embark on this journey together. So stay tuned for the first interview style episode where I'll introduce you to a phenomenal women in the upcoming episodes with an incredible story of resilience and determination. So until then, this is Brittany Wick signing off. And remember, every story deserves to be heard, because when we talk about these issues, we're not just sharing stories. We're building bridges of understanding and paving the way for a future where the experiences of women in and out of uniform are not only acknowledged, but also celebrated. Stay tuned. And until next week, talk to you then.